Welcome everybody out to podcast number 458. Today we're going to talk about your Christmas story. Stay with us.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome everybody. I hope you're doing well. I want to open this by saying that every company, every individual, every department, every family has their own Christmas story. Now, this podcast is not going to be something that you'll want to miss. The reflections here apply to all of us, and I really feel inspired and excited about sharing this message today. I was actually asked by a colleague in the industry to do this podcast and to look at it. And so I've been thinking and pondering about this and had a recent experience that I'll tell you here in just a minute that really got me focused on this and thinking about this. And so we're going to talk about your Christmas story today. Let me kick it off by saying that everybody is probably in the throes of closing out the year. You've probably been recently through employee reviews. You've probably either received or have been a part of getting people their bonuses. You've been discussing raises with people and issuing those raises, having hard conversations, easy conversations, exciting conversations. Maybe your company is focused on Christmas gifts, whether that's a turkey or a gift card or a party. So there's lots of parties going on right now, but you've pushed really hard this year. Your expenses are all turned in. If you're on the leadership team, you've probably done your taxes and your tax projections. It might be the end of the fiscal year. Some people do it in July or different parts of the year, right? But it might be the end of your fiscal year here this month. And you're thinking about the holidays and work and how you make it over the holidays, but you're really excited about a Christmas dinner, time off with the family. And you're also maybe a little bit worried about having a dark winter with COVID-19. And so it's a really busy time of the year. It's a colder time of the year. It's a time where we can look forward to next year. And, one of the things that's interesting with me is so I start to do not Christmas decoration, but holiday decoration in August. I'm like one of those people. Or Katie has restricted me to September sometimes, mid-September. So I'll start decorating for Halloween. Great fun holiday there. Really enjoy that. And then as we get up to Thanksgiving, take down some of the spooky stuff, put up some of the more of the just fall kind of a theme. And then right after Thanksgiving, it's Christmas time. And I really enjoy that. In the past, I've been depressed. I've been depressed right after Christmas because it's over. And so I've attempted to fix that in a number of different ways. We've attempted to do the 12 days of Christmas, like Secret Santa for people after that. We've attempted to go on trips. We've left the Christmas lights up. We've done different things, and nothing ever really seemed to work. Because it was like, okay, this fun, exciting time of the year is over. And I think that it's because we've been doing it wrong and we haven't been focusing on what our Christmas story is. And so this is not a sermon. This is not a preachment. This is not something that your pastor would tell you. I am very much telling you something that applies to business and your own life. And I'm going to give a little bit of an example with my company here as we talk about how we can do a year-end review and then also set some goals for the next year so that after Christmas, we're not depressed and we don't have that feeling. So here's a little summary. I do love A Christmas Carol, whether it's the Disney cartoon or the book or any of the videos. I even like the Jim Carrey video, A Christmas Carol. And so here's a summary. One cold Christmas Eve, Scrooge is unkind to people who work for him, then refuses to give to charity, and then is rude to his nephew when he invites him to spend Christmas with him. When Scrooge gets home, he is visited by the ghost of his old business partner, Jacob Marley, and then by three ghosts. They are the ghosts of Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas future. The ghost of Christmas past takes Scrooge on a journey through Christmases from the past, taking Scrooge to see himself as an unhappy child and a young man more in love with money than his fiancée. The Ghost of Christmas Present shows Scrooge his clerk, Bob Cratchit's family. At Bob Cratchit's house, Scrooge sees Tiny Tim, who is very ill but full of spirit. The ghost then takes him to see his nephew, Fred's Christmas celebrations, which he had been invited to, but rebuffed. Finally, the Ghost of Christmas Future terrifies Scrooge by showing him visions of his own death. The ghost's journey through time teaches Scrooge the error of his ways. When he wakes up on Christmas Day, he is full of excitement and buys the biggest turkey in the shop for the Cratchit family before spending the day with his nephew, full of the joys of Christmas. Now, we've all heard this story. We've probably all, whether we're grumpy about it or not, been affected by this story. It's a part of our culture, and I really like that. So here's a man who's wealthy, successful, and doing well, who, because of a lack of focus, has forgotten the reason for what he's doing. And he gets an opportunity by looking at the past, present, and the future to make a change. Now, most of us aren't in these situations, but we do get into situations where we forget why we are here. And so as I talk about closing up a year in review, meaning like 2021, and look at the accomplishments that we have, I really, really hope that everyone gets an opportunity to look back, to say thank you, to send those emails, to really appreciate the employees, to give shout outs, to visit projects, to hand out those Christmas bonuses, and to really, in a sincere and wonderful way, tell people, you know what, you made a difference and you were relevant. I hope the leadership team looks back on the things that they accomplished and the things that were implemented and how the organization is bettered. I hope people look back and celebrate the training that they did. I hope people look back and celebrate the projects that were completed. I hope people look back and they really, like I'm actually looking right now on my board, looking at the financials, and you're a little bit proud of the revenue, a little bit proud of the gross profit, right? Proud of the cash flow that your company is experiencing. Proud of the fact that you're able to fund employee incentives. But one of the best things that can shape a celebration of where we have been is a determination of where we're going. Kind of like when I was celebrating Christmas and then getting a little bit depressed afterwards. Probably the best way we can reverence the past is by celebrating and being excited about the future. So really quickly, I want to talk about goal setting. If you're like me, you're going to you've either done this or you're heading into this direction. You'll create a specific goal, whether it's for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, the next quarter. I call it a thematic goal because I follow the table group method with Patrick Lencioni. And under that, you'll have defining goals. I do this for family. I do this for church. I do this for our business. I help clients with it. It's fantastic because people overestimate what they can do in 5 years and underestimate what they can do in 90 days. And so knowing what is the most important thing right now is absolutely fantastic. But there's something even more important than that, and that's the vision of the company. And that can come down to a purpose statement, a vision statement, and core values. But here's why it's important. We have to remember who we are. And I'm not talking about, oh, yeah. No, we have a mission statement. We know where we're going. Well, I'm kind of talking about that, but I'm kind of not also. What I mean is, why are you really in business? Why are you really here? What is the reason that you do this? And I remember with a trusted colleague and a friend doing this exercise, and I learned this from Dean Graziosi. He said, ask why 7 times. And it's not the typical lean ask why 5 times or 7 times. It's the business ask why 7 times. And if you get down to it, and I would challenge you with this podcast to actually do this, is ask yourself or your employer or your leadership team why 7 times. Why do you do this? And usually you'll get an answer, which is fine. Let's do it with me here. Let's see if we can do it with me. Well, I do this because I feel like I'm a master builder and I'm able to share this information and we need to share it in the industry. Okay, why do we need to share it in the industry? Well, we need to share it in the industry because it's not something that's talked about. We don't have books like this and information widely spread. It's not something that is commonly talked about, right? It's we need to spread the information. Okay, so why do you need to spread the information? Well, because if we don't spread the information, then people won't get the training. Workers will still be in bad environments in the field, and that's not acceptable. Okay, so why is it not acceptable that workers in the field and leaders don't have this information? Well, ultimately, it's because when they come home, their families suffer, their children suffer, they're chewed up and spit out by this industry, and they don't do well. The suicide rate is so much more than even the fatality in construction than the fatalities from construction accidents. We have a massive problem with psychological safety. We have a massive problem with people enjoying their work. We have a massive problem with projects not being balanced and allowing people to live their lives. They have it backwards. Okay, so why do we have to fix that? And ultimately, as you keep digging and digging and digging, you find out that the Elevate Construction purpose is to build people. It's to build families. That's what we do. We're not a training company. We're not a coaching company. We're not a consulting company. We are a build human beings. We are a build family. We are a build families for eternity company. That's it. If we were in a different business, if we were cooks, if we were shoemakers or whatever, we would use that vehicle to bless families and set them up for a lifetime and an eternity of learning and growth. Period. That's it. That's who we are. And so I got a chance to remember some of these things here recently. So let me tell you a story. Recently, I've been feeling like really inspired about some ideas. And so we're writing books at a more accelerated rate and one of the things that we're really doing that I think is neat is we're creating Miro boards. So Miro, and we've outlined the tact production system on a Miro board and shared that for free with the industry. I'm mapping out a complete field path from foreman to field engineer to superintendent on Miro to share with the industry for free. We are giving away like so many different things. And I get criticized quite a bit by other people, trainers, consultants, companies, Jason, and I get lectured a little bit, and it's fine because they're probably right. They're probably right. It's one thing to give away good content, but to give away that much might not be the best business decision. And I've been struggling with this for a little bit because there are people, and God bless them, and I'm not saying that they're wrong. It's just that they're not who we are, meaning we're a different group, that will lock things down behind a financial firewall so that the industry doesn't get it. And I was basically we had some discussions in some leadership meetings about, should these Miro boards be shared? Should this free content be shared? Should we put as much of the YouTube? Because somebody could come onto our Miro boards and our YouTube videos and our blog posts and with a little bit of study, piece everything together and not even need to go to a tax fundamentals course, right? And so this is something that has been asked of me multiple times, and I was thinking about it, and it just doesn't feel right. And I went back to the core values of what we do, of why we are here, and what the mission of our company is, and really had to anchor back, or maybe you just say anchor, or got to anchor back to exactly why we're here, and what do I want to say? Remember why we started this business in the first place. And so in looking at the Elevate Construction Clarity, and I want you all to think about your own clarity documents or the purpose for you being in business. The vision for Elevate Construction is that we have respected individuals, trained leaders, and preserved families. And our purpose is to build people in construction, to build families. Our big, hairy, audacious goal is to be the preferred trainer in construction with the most addictive, useful, and fast training in 5 years. Our slogans are step up, expect more, let's go. Basically, we sell our energy. And our values are transparency, respect for people, do the right thing, drive results, and have real employee enjoyment and engagement. And so The one of the big ones is drive results for us, and the other big one is respect for people and do the right thing. I mean, those three things, though, respect for people, do the right thing, and drive results, are really the elevate key items there. And so I asked myself, if we share these Miro boards for free with the industry, could people steal the content and resell them? Could people take them and not pay us for courses? Could it be more difficult for us to financially survive as a company? Probably all of those are yes. Could people take the information and not have to earn it like we did and just go run off and use it? Yes. All of those things are yes. But at the end of the day, this is actually the purpose of this podcast, is that just didn't feel right. And it didn't feel right because it's not who we are. And in this little story, after we had that discussion as a leadership team over here on the Elevate, as an Elevate group, we actually just prayed about it. And there were some really neat answers that came to us as we prayed about it, thoughts that came into our minds. But the bottom line is that giving is really just who we are. And I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you, this was like a really neat story for me. And there's an interesting thing that happened is after I got clear in my mind and anchored back to the fact that the company was created to share, to benefit, to give, and to give things that, quite frankly, we've been given, that everything kind of fell into place. That by virtue of the fact that we're addicted to that giving is the exact reason that we're learning. The fact that we're addicted to the giving and the purpose, and we're aligned with our purpose, is the exact reason that we can create a lot of content. The reason, or the reason that we're able to spread as much information as we are and get around is because that's our purpose. As soon as we go against it, lock it down, lose our focus, which ties back to the Christmas Carol, we would cease to be who we really are. Now, here's the inspired part. You probably know all about that. But as a company, after we had that discussion, I got more and more and more excited about who we are. I got more and more excited about the prospect of giving. I got more secure, more faith, had more faith in the future, more hope for the future than I ever had before, because it doesn't matter. The finances are great. The completed projects are great, but who did we build? What did we do? How did we give? And I thought about this. If Elevate Construction tomorrow if we ran, let's say the tax projection wasn't which I'm excited about, it was really good. If it let's say, for instance, we owed $80,000 or 200, I don't know, I'm just making it up, but a whole bunch of money that we didn't have. And now we're heading in the red, and we're really in trouble, and we would have to close our doors. So what? We have spent a year and a half giving and giving and giving, and there are people that call us all the time saying that we've completely helped change their projects, helped change them, who they are individually, helped to make sure that the workers are in better conditions. People send texts, people send pictures, people send all of these things. And so think about right now, in your company, who has reached out to you to tell you, and there are a lot, and this is my point, that you have made a difference in their company. How many people have called you and said that you've made a difference in their life? How many people have called you and said that they love working for your organization? How many people have called and said, the purpose of what you do, your core values really speak to me? And that's really why we do this. And I'm excited to do this more and more and more in the future. How many people can we bless this year? How many people can we help train this year? How many charities can we donate to this year? How much good can we do for others this year? How many people can we protect this year? How many marriages can we benefit this year? And this might sound fluffy, but I promise you it's not. There's a neat little exercise that we do in some of our boot camps where we have people write down today, their current, where their age now, all the way back to when they were born, and draw a line and write down their moments in their life. What were the key things that stood out to you? And then we say, draw a line from now to the date when you want to die. Now that sounds morbid, but we don't mean it that way. But we have people write that down, and now we say, what will be your moments going forward in the future? And almost all of them are centered around family. Almost all of them are centered around giving. Almost all of them are centered around children. Almost all of them are centered around their mission and actually accomplishing their mission in life. And so I want to bring us back to that, is that having a company, a department, a group, a team, a family, or a work crew or a project that is focused on the people and respect for people and the nature of people really is something, if we do it right, that can accentuate and make our goals absolutely remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. So in your thematic goal and in your defining goals as you kick off the year, anchor back to what do you want to do in 100 years? What do you want to do in 20? What do you want to do in 5? And are you heading in a direction where you are 100% anchored to your values? Are you 100% anchored to your purpose? And does that purpose and that vision inspire you? Does that vision and that purpose get you excited? Does that vision and that purpose allow you to live a remarkable life? I'll read again. The ghost journey through time teaches Scrooge the error of his ways. When he wakes up on Christmas Day, he is full of excitement and buys the biggest turkey in the shop for the Cratchit family before spending the day with his nephew, full of the joys of Christmas. Do your values, do your core values, does your purpose, does the vision of your company, does it allow you to wake up at the beginning of next year full of excitement to where you can go more fully live the purpose of whatever your company is, your department, your team, your family, your project? And if the answer is no, then great. Like, we have such an opportunity to go do this. And if the answer is yes, how can we do this even more? How can you share that vision even more? How can you look back, not only thanking people for this year, but also looking forward and inspiring them for the future? I have underestimated the importance of communicating with passion, the vision of what people are doing in an organization. And if you know, as the leader or the team leader or the project leader, where you are headed, and if this story of where you are headed is inspiring and caring for people, if it's anchored to your core values, and if it's going to leave you better and this world better than how you found it, people need to know about that. People need to hear that story, and people need to identify with that story. And if you can live that story, not only say it right now, but live that story, that's when remarkable things happen. That's when everything comes together. And so my challenge would be, remember who you are. Remember why you are here. Why are you in business? What do you value? Why do you go to work every day? And for Elevate Construction, we found that it's for people and for families. And anytime that I forget that, or we as a team forget that, even if it's but for a moment, that's when life gets sad and depressing, just like the post-Christmas duration used to be for me. But this Christmas, it won't be like that, because next year we're going to bless 2, 3, 4, 5 times as many people. We're going to connect with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times as many people. We're going to scale more free content. We're going to scale more mural boards. We're going to have 4 or 5 books out next year. We're going to speak in more countries around the world. And why? Is it for the self-aggrandizement? Is it for fame and popularity? Is it for being popular in social media? No, it's because we are able to leave this world a little bit better place. And I stole this from Gordon B. Hinckley, who had this as a really neat quote. And I'm going to steal it and rebrand it under the Elevate kind of umbrella here. And this is totally a knockoff and a stealing of a concept and pulling it into my world. But this is honestly how I feel. And so I'm going to tie this to Elevate Construction. If somebody said, what do we do? I would say Elevatism is a religion or a belief or whatever you want to call it of refinement. So I would say our company, our philosophy, Elevatism, is a religion of refinement. It reasons that every man and woman has within him or her God possibilities, that salvation and exaltation and happiness in life is essentially development. It argues that every man and woman is potentially a great man or woman. And through an inspired system, It offers to find the most extensive facilities in all the world for every person, every man and woman to discover for him or herself their possibilities to so live that they can stand on the summit of their life and look back upon a trail of accomplishment and not a slew of wasted energies. And that last sentence is key for me. It allows everybody, according to their possibilities and potential, to so live that they can stand on the summit of their life and look back upon a trail of accomplishment and not a slew of wasted energies. And so at our company, we have a Christmas carol. We have our own belief systems. We have our own purpose. And as we live that purpose and anchor back to that purpose, not only in a year-end review, but as we look forward, that is when things get remarkable. That is when things get remarkable. And I'll close out with this. I've learned of late that stress is good. Good stress is good. Learning is good. Growth is good. Progress is true happiness. So if we believe those things, and we do, then that means that learning, improvement, and looking for things that make us better is absolutely crucial to our existence and to human happiness and to the success of any organization or team. And if that is the case, then we will improve and learn and look for things that make us better. That means quality. That means better products. That means better operations. That means cleaner, safer project sites. That means that we will eliminate waste. That means that we will learn technology. That means that we will embrace teaming concepts. That means we will improve our environments. That means we will treat people better. That means that we will improve the paths for people within our organizations. That means that we will do better every day. There is no merit whatsoever, and there's no happiness. And I'm not specifically even being judgmental. I'll tell you, I was out at Glamis just the other day taking youth out in the sand dunes and jamming out. I take my kids to the lake. I do all kinds of fun stuff. But I work hard and I play hard. There is no merit to living a mediocre life. There is no happiness in living a mediocre life. There is no future in living a mediocre life. Earth and in heaven, wherever we're going to be, all of the happiness that comes therein comes from growth and progress. And if we understand that as companies, then not only will we live our mission, not only will we set better goals, but we will inspire our people to do better throughout the year. We have to be purpose-driven. We have to be purpose-driven. Last thing that I'll say here as I close this out. When I see the office, the plant that Paul Aker has in his facility, in his videos, I crave that kind of life. When I see some of the things they do in Japan with their car manufacturing and on their construction projects, I crave that kind of life. When I went over to Europe and toured Germany and Sweden and visited with Nicholas Modig, spent time on his island, looked at the way he teaches in some of his programs, some of the things that he's accomplished, learned about lean in an in-depth way, saw the perfection and the beauty at the BMW plant on how they manufacture cars. I was inspired, and I want to live that kind of life. And I'm asking, like, how can we find it? How can we find this? And the way that I would say my closing advice is that we need to focus more on becoming instead of having. Sometimes, and this is what Scrooge found himself having trouble with, is he focused more on having instead of becoming. And there was another movie, actually I lied to you, I'm going to say one more thing here. There was another movie that I've watched recently, it was Schindler's List. And I was spending a little bit too much time on YouTube just randomly when I got tired, and I was like, I'm going to watch a good movie. And I was thinking about Oskar Schindler and his progress. He started that business, made all that money, and at the end, and it's anyway, it's hard to get through that, even thinking about, what happened to those people? But I remember the little clips of him giving his watch or his cufflinks or his parts of his wardrobe to go get more people to come work in the factory. And then near the end of the movie, he started to load up these briefcases of cash to get the workers out to, I think it was Czechoslovakia, to a different facility so they could be saved from the concentration camps. And I just thought to myself, am I in my business dedicating my time and talents and everything that the Lord has blessed me with, all of my cash, finances, and wealth to bless the world? Or am I not? Am I doing what Oskar Schindler did, where he had more money than anybody could ever possibly want, but he was giving it away for the benefit of others? Was I willing to do that? In the Christmas Carol, just like Scrooge, amassed all of this wealth and all of this success, but at the end of the day, he realized that giving it away and spending time with those that he loved and caring for people was the true nature of happiness. Am I willing to do that for myself? And for you and your company, the question of how can we find our purpose? How can we set our goals? How can we look back on this year? How can we find what will improve our organization? And I think that the answer is when we stop focusing so much on having and we focus on becoming and training and giving and developing our people, that's when we really start to understand what this life is all about. And the interesting thing is when we start to give in training and give in promotions and give in support and give in time and give as an organization to our charities and give to our communities and give to little Johnny's baseball game and give to that employee whose wife has cancer and they need a little bit of help right now. Or we give as an organization to St. Jude Children's Hospital or whatever it is. We even just that kind word to that employee and we focus on becoming and giving more. That's interestingly enough when we become not only rich in life, but we become rich in finances as well. And it's as soon as we lose ourselves in that pursuit that we find the business success. It's as soon as we lose ourselves in giving back to this world that we find the gross revenue and gross profit targets that we were looking for. And so that is my message and my closing advice is that if we want to have a remarkable company, a department, a team, a family, a project, then we need to set goals in a way that will align with who we are and why we do this. And we need to find our own Christmas story and give to people because that's when we'll truly figure all of this out. And the other thing that I would like to say, so this podcast right now is over, but I would like to say in closing, so you can leave if you want, but in closing, the ability for us on our end to give and to share this content and to create these Miro boards and to write these books and to do the things that we're able to do on social media and to spread this information and to get the calls back from workers and foremen and superintendents and project leaders and families saying, oh my gosh, this has made so much of a difference. And I'm talking about thousands and thousands of people, is really thanks to the companies that have allowed us to work with them. There are mid-sized and large companies that have taken a financial risk, put in a financial investment into us as a company. And I'll just give a shout out to some of them. The Allen Group, Field Verified, O'Shea Builders, Petticoat Smith, ESI Group USA, Green Street Contracting, DPR Construction, Hensel Phelps, Shield Sexton, and I could go on and on and on and on and on. They are paying us to consult and to develop and to help them with the implementation of their systems. But that enables us also to change the world. And so the last thing that I would, this is my last thing, but the last thing that I would say for anybody that's looking at closing out this last year and going into the next year is let's give a huge thanks to those companies who are paying us to actually go change the world, to live according to our core values, to accomplish our purpose, and to live a remarkable life. And I want to say thank you officially right now to all of those people, those companies that I just mentioned, and the ability that they've given us to live a life of meaning and to go back to that little quote that I love so that we can stand on the summit of our lives and look back upon a trail of accomplishment and not a slew of wasted energies. On we go.
Please join us us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.